In today's video, I wanted to just go over a couple of thoughts on the NBA preseason. These thoughts are not at all organized, they are not universal. I think the most important thing in preseason, the thing that I always have my eye on the most, is rookies. First, I want to talk about Cooper Flagg. I believe that he's pretty much looked exactly as I expected in the preseason, just based on what the projections for him were coming into the league. Like, he already is very clearly a really high level defender, high level decision maker. Like, yeah, those are the things that he's like already excellent at. The thing that is more of a question of his ceiling, both in the short term and the long term, is how good of a shot creator he can be. He has had flashes, he has had moments, but he has also had some ugly games. I think he went 3 for 13 in one of his games. He had like a really nice behind the back dribble into a mid-range fadeaway over LaMelo Ball. So like there was a couple, I think his first game he hit like 2 pull-up 3-pointers and one of them was like with a defender in his face. So definitely there are signs that he will be a positive shot creator, but I think in terms of Dallas's ceiling this year, how far along he is right now matters a lot. So yeah, that's what I have on Cooper Flagg. I didn't really get anything from him that I did not expect to see, just based on what I've heard from everybody else. Ace Bailey, Utah Jazz rookie. I have had this take before already, and I like to say this all the time, like, please, you can't hold me to any opinion about a guy who hasn't played on an NBA floor yet, like in an actual NBA game. But just based on the very limited sample that we've seen, he did this in the summer league and it translated perfectly fine to the Utah Jazz in the preseason. I think Ace Bailey looks really good. I think a lot of the slights on him as a player have been like kind of fixed by the fact that the guy is way more of an off ball scorer than I think he was given credit for. He had one, I think he actually played against the Mavericks and went like 1 for 5, so not universally good stuff there, but I have liked what I have seen from him. Gonna move on to Houston. They actually played a game yesterday where both Amen Thompson and Jabari Smith went off. Amen hit 2 3-pointers. This video is gonna come out on the weekend, so it actually wasn't yesterday. I'm recording this on Thursday, but yeah, he hit 2 3-pointers. I think both of them were from the top of the key as well, taking on some more point guard responsibilities. And I actually want to talk about Houston's offensive approach, period, because it was going to be very interesting to see how they approach their offensive game plan without Fred VanVleet as the anchor, as the floor general for that team. And it seems like they're embracing Alperen Şengün's playmaking ability. Not that it wasn't a pretty big staple of the offense last year, because he still averaged like 6 assists per game, somewhere in that ballpark. But like they're doing far more like off-ball movement stuff while he's in the mid-post or top of the key. Had some really fun action with Kevin Durant, one where like it was an inverted pick and roll, although how inverted is it if both guys are technically the same height? I don't know. They ran the lineup that I so badly wanted to see, and I really hope this is a staple lineup because it is so interesting. It was Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Şengün, and Steven Adams. 4 6'11" guys and 1 6'7" point guard. Like, that is so interesting. I don't think we have seen a team that has a lineup that they go to consistently ever that has that kind of height. I was actually looking because I saw someone comment about that lineup, and one of the replies was like, you know, the tallest teams in NBA history don't actually tend to be all that good. I looked it up. That's not really true. The tallest team ever was the 2005 Cleveland Cavaliers. Might have been 2006. That team wasn't very good. So the tallest team ever wasn't very good. But it was mostly like some 90s Indiana Pacers teams. The 80s Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, were an incredibly tall team. And that's not just because Magic Johnson was skewing it, but also Kareem is 7'2". They consistently, whether it was Kurt Rambis or AC Green, had like a 6'10" to 7-foot power forward. James Worthy, like 6'8", 6'9". Like, really the only player who was anything less than like a pretty tall wing who would be on the floor would be like Byron Scott and Norm Nixon when it was earlier on into Magic's time there earlier in the 80s. So yeah, I mean, there's evidence that there's teams that are pretty fucking good that are really, really tall as well. Believe it or not, height tends to be good. And I think historically in the NBA, when you went with like ultra tall lineups, you were sacrificing something. Like there was some sort of skill set that was just not that many players who were 6'11" and like highly skilled with the ball in the way that Kevin Durant is. Even Jabari Smith Jr., I'd say, really plays like a wing, even though he's 6'11". Amen Thompson, perfectly capable of manning the point guard position, I think, at least in spurts. So yeah, I liked what I saw from Houston on the offensive end a lot in the preseason. I do think there is a chance that their game plan, their offensive approach can circumvent the loss of Fred VanVleet a little bit. Also, I liked what I saw from Reed Shepherd. Like, he seems like at the very least he'll be able to hit threes, be serviceable on defense, and make good decisions with the ball in his hand. Speaking of that, I want to talk about the Charlotte Hornets and specifically Con Knipple. I made fun of him going in because his name is Knipple and I'm a child. But aside from that, he's actually a pretty damn good NBA player. And I know this is a cliche thing to say about a white NBA player, especially a white American player, but as cliche as it is, the number one thing that stood out to me is the man's feel. The man's feel for the game is off the charts for a rookie. He makes great decisions all the time. He plays very unselfish. He is a very good three-point shooter, capable of being a ball handler and playmaker without like being a ball dominant player. I really think he is a perfect piece, and like the Hornets looked good overall in the preseason. He looks really good. Brandon Miller looked good. LaMelo looks good. Also, they seem to have a better answer for their center rotation than I expected, because they have Moussa Diabate, who I believe is not a rookie. I believe he's in like his second or third year. But yesterday he had a 17 and 13 game, and I believe that 9 of those rebounds were offensive rebounds. Yeah, he's actually entering year 4. So maybe I'm just being a little overly positive. His numbers last year are fine, but yeah, he was very, very good in that game. But the guy who really stood out, and I hate that his name is so funny too, but Ryan Kalkbrenner, or Kalkbrenner, maybe it's actually Kalk, and I'm like, again, being a child, but like the rookie duo of Nipple and Cock are really going to go a long way for the Charlotte Hornets this year, because Ryan really looks capable. He was their second round pick. I think he went like 4th or 5th in the second round. 5-year senior, led college, or at least his division, because I'm not sure how that works, but like led that whatever faction of college he is in blocks 3 years in a row, rebounds the previous year. Like, there's nothing about him that's particularly unique. He just does the big man shit well. He protects the rim well, rebounds well, finishes at the basket well. So I feel like they're going to have a decent answer at the center position. I really like Con Knipple. LaMelo's good. Brandon Miller's good. And I feel like between the three of them, they're going to have a really, really good offensive trio. Unfortunately, Miles Bridges also is a pretty damn good player in the context of this team because of how good of a play finisher he can be. So I think the Hornets have some reason to be optimistic. I'm not going to say like, oh shit, the Hornets have a playoff team on their hands, because God, who knows? But at the very least, I think they should be substantially better if they can be healthy. Their lottery pick from last year, Tijan Salon didn't look all that great, but I don't know. I think that was a very bad draft pick, but we will move on. I got something on the Clippers. Chris Paul, crazy seeing him in that jersey again, but he looks, maybe I'm just like completely, I don't know, there's no real analysis in this. I just feel like Chris seems better the moment that he's wearing a Clippers jersey. Brook Lopez, he's only played 2 games, but he was really good in both of them. I think he went 4 for 5 from 3 in his second game. And I was like, man, that addition, as much as I've been pretty high on the Clippers, that addition might be even bigger than I thought. Like, Brook Lopez will probably be the best backup center in the entire NBA this year. I don't really know who else would even compare to his capabilities, because he's still a good rim protector, even though he can't defend outside of the paint worth shit. And he's still a damn good stretch big for a 5, even if his three-point shooting doesn't really hold up in the playoffs. But at the bare minimum for the regular season, I think the Clippers are still going to be very good. The Clippers are the Clippers, and I understand why people hold out on them, because they're the Clippers. And I will say this every year and continue to have everyone have been right to not believe in them. And, this leopard will continue to eat my face. But like, I think the Clippers could be really good if if the Kawhi scandal doesn't end up being too impactful on everything. But like Chris Paul off of the bench, Brooke Lopez off of the bench. Yes, they're old as dirt, but that's two really good backups to have. I'm expecting like James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Bradley Beal. Like Bradley Beal's a good addition. John Collins had a really good game last one as well. I think he had 24. Like I really think the Clippers are going to be good. DeAndre Ayton and the Los Angeles Lakers. He only played one game with Luka. Luka obviously did not play that long, and he got one assist on an alley-oop from Luka. It's been a mixed bag for him. He had two bad games at the start, and I think he literally had 1 point in his first game, but two bad games at the start and then two good games after. Double-digit points both times, double-digit rebounds once, 5 assists in one game, 3 blocks in the other. So there's stuff there. I do think that he's going to be good, but like, I don't know. I feel like people were looking for any reason at all to dunk on him going in. And I don't like when people do that. I don't like when people are like, we're going to shit all over this guy anytime he has a remotely bad game. Oh, last thing I'm going to talk about. I was looking at the box score of a Grizzlies game, and Jalen Wells had like 10 points, and there were like 500 comments on him. And I'm like, what the shit? And he had 12 points, and apparently his over was like 13 and a half. So all of these people are replying like, you sold, how dare you, why would you do this to me? I'm like, brother, you are betting on preseason NBA basketball. Please dial the number, get some help. Preseason betting, the most wild card basketball you can imagine, where one night a guy might play 5 minutes and the other he might play 28. Like, you are to blame for that. You are a damn fool. And also, I can't imagine, and I hate how much this term is overused, but I think it's applicable here. I can't think of a bigger bot behavior than seeing a player do not what you want for your parlay and then being like, you fucking bitch, you bastard, you did this to me, you asshole. You did it to you because Jalen Wells doesn't give a fuck about scoring 2 more points so you can get your over. Fuck that. That pissed me off. I figured I'd throw it in here at the end. I'm sure there's some other stuff that is worthy of mention that I just haven't really gotten to. Dallas's offense overall has been a little bit weird. They had a really good offensive game last time, but for the most part, it was fine. Fucking Buzelis. Modest Buzelis, my boy, my king. 20 points, 5 blocks versus the Nuggets. 5 blocks. I think he's had 2 or 3 20-point games in this summer league. No, he had 2 other 19-point games, but it's like an incredibly small amount of minutes. Yeah, 19 points in 18 minutes, 19 points in 25 minutes. I am so Monis Buzelis pilled. Buzelis is king. Buzelis is like giving me a reason to want to watch the Chicago Bulls. A fucking shaggy looking ass, but man, can he hoop. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and